I don't know if you could tell, but my face and stuff, I can't think clearly right now. There's a barrage. It feels like wave after wave after wave after wave of, I don't know, electromagnetic waves. I studied this a little bit, and there's these there, and then there's that down there, and the building is an old building, so it probably, most likely, draws in electromagnetic waves by satellite. Not only are they electromagnetic waves, there are several different types of waves. And then the listening devices, the frequencies are probably transmitted the same way. I was feeling just fine like maybe an hour ago. Like I didn't feel any strange. I like to say that, well, I don't like to say it. I say that they're like withdrawal symptoms from alcohol or something, you know. They dry me out. They make me have a foggy brain. I can't think right. They just turned it up. I could feel it. It's kind of like do 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 like that, right? And then all of a sudden, whenever you're saying something that they don't like, it goes do 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 because it gets more intense. I think that's to disturb my vibration. I'm not really sure. I don't know. Which is probably a good reason why people like to go to the park and take off their shoes and ground themselves there. What they don't know, or maybe they do know, is that they're affecting my dog as well. You can see he looks very like concerned. He's not. He wasn't himself all morning, and now he's just like he's looking around very, very concerned. I haven't been documenting. I haven't been doing anything really with this case in particular. Mine would have been a great case to just really like document if I had just been more disciplined. And I don't really care about this. They could do whatever they want. I actually invite them to hurt me, to kill me, you know, because I do want to die. I'm suicidal. I think they actually are able to increase my depression symptoms as well. So I don't know how they mean to do all of it, but I wish they would get it over with. As far as I know, the mythical, I guess, beings that are supposed to be responsible is Satan, one, and I suspect all of Christianity actually, so that'd be God and Jesus, because who would know everything like this and a little bit of the forward and the back, you know? God would. There's a lot of synchronicity in the world now, and it's no secret that God exists. It was hard to believe right away because, well, it wasn't hard to believe right away. It was hard to believe at all because he's invisible and he doesn't really speak. But in this way, he actually communicates, and he has an old cartoon voice. He sounds like an old man, like a little old cartoon voice. To me, he does. And he's very he's not nice. He's not kind like he used to be. He used to be very kind. He used to be kind and nurturing. He used to be just God. I don't know. He was everything that you would think of God. Then now he's just a jerk. If you offend him, he gets all mad, and then he just starts to punish you right there immediately. In my case, that's how he does it. And then his reasoning I don't think he really has a reasoning. I'm trying to focus on how to deliver this into the video without really digressing or messing up the story, because the my brain is getting really foggy and it's hard to focus on just that one. And my mouth and my, I guess, my way of speaking is being, it feels really like maybe my cavities, my fillings maybe, are being held or something in one place. I'm not really sure. I don't have any other metal in my body except for, I guess, that. Uh, Last night there was a night that I argued with them. I pretty much really argued with them because they lured me outside. I usually stay in here in this room, and I do that to avoid the public, because God and whoever's in charge here has control over pretty much the people and a lot of the cars and everything, that the environment. So whenever I go out there, it's a it's a it's a, what do you call it, a boot camp thing. Like, you jump through things and you try to avoid this and try to avoid that, and it's almost like survival, actually. And it's very rude. I've never seen the general public just be completely inconsiderate and rude and unapologetic. It's because they're being controlled by God or whatever they are, and they don't really think on their own, which is why people that are awake, like me, are more able to comprehend what's going on and see that some things are different. My dog is a what do you call it? A tool for him too. So if I take him outside, I got to be prepared that God has a plan to use him in some way against my will. The way the argument went yesterday was, I was in here keeping myself safe. I stay in here drama free because they're going to attack me while I'm out there. It's preemptive, you know. I say, okay, well, they're going to attack me out there, I'm going to stay inside then. It's just thoughts, proactive stuff. They got tired of it, started making all kinds of noise with the cars. So noise pollution is a big deal. The motorcycles will come over here, run, 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 and they'll just keep going and going and going. And then dogs will start barking, and then people start arguing, and things start slamming. And you just get an uneasy feeling altogether. And you know, hi Robert, and you know when he's actually trying to direct attention to you. Well, I'm saying you and as me in general. So I know he was trying to talk to me, and I know he was trying to tell me to go outside. And I don't have any friends because of this. So I don't have a reason to go outside. Lately, he's been saying, fall in love. You gotta fall in love and make a baby. And I just don't think it's time. I'm homeless. I don't have a job. I barely have any education. And he wants me to fall in love and have a baby. That sounds completely reckless. And it sounds irresponsible. I think what they planned was for me to have the baby so genetically my DNA would pass on. And then after I have the baby, then I could just go wherever and do whatever I want. They just need my genetics to pass on. They had a plan set out for me to go with my best friend Cheyenne, or she used to be my best friend, to go with Cheyenne and then have the baby there with her. Oh, Cheyenne, I couldn't ever do it. I don't know, I just couldn't do it. Well, Cheyenne got married anyway, and so she's fine. And these are all friends and stuff that just all of a sudden they just stopped talking to me. They don't they don't talk to me like they used to. It's as if they've been brainwashed or something, and they just don't care about me at all. Which is fine. I mean, like, I don't deserve it, but they have their choices. And I certainly ain't crying around about it. They're fine. Cheyenne's getting married. She always wanted to get married. Good. I'm happy for her. I have my own problems. I have God and whatever else trying to kill me every day. Let alone myself trying to kill myself every day. And I'm literal about that one. I do try at least once every day. I did suspend that for a little while. I did stop trying to pump things into my veins. And that in itself is it just gets more and more complicated. I put so much stuff, not for the high, because I don't even get the high anymore. Not as much as I used to. Not the euphoria as much as I used to. I get more of the withdrawal symptoms, and it's like they made my body only accept just the withdrawal symptoms and not the euphoria part. So that kind of sucks in itself all the way. There's 24-hour monitoring, so that means they're invading my privacy every second, every minute. And they're checking out my internet, and they're checking out my friend's internet. And they're doing this all because God has those places. I actually say God because it's God and Lucifer. And it's kind of a guessing game that they like to play with it. It's not my game, I don't care. So they can do whatever they want. That's where I used to stand, and that's where I want to stay at. I don't care what they do with their war that they're having. Their spiritual war between good and evil, you know. And it's like, it's so played out. It's so part of the movies. And it's so, like, old. I mean, like, who wants to play pirates on the ship again? And, you know, to me, that's what it is. But to many, it's a very serious war. Especially maybe the Christians. They probably see it as a, well, our master is fighting this war. We need to fight it back. But the only people that are really dying and physically hurting are the targeted individuals. The ones that kind of want to stay neutral like me. And I think that's it, but that's as far as I know. I know that I was not a targeted individual until I stated that I was, and then it never lost. Then I started being followed. Then I started being monitored from outside. The thing is that God doesn't have to intimidate by individuals, you know. He's out there. I know. He's in here. I know. But I don't care. He claims that he created me and that I am one of his souls and that I need to go back to him. I disagree. And on top of that, during my lifetime, I cried out to him and I cried out to Jesus. They both abandoned me and neglected me. I killed myself. And when I woke up, I decided, no, I'm going to take ownership over my life. I'm going to take ownership over my soul and my spirit and whatever else this body is. This is mine now because they didn't want it. They didn't attempt for it until just recently. So, I mean, like, it's completely illogical and stupid for them to try to claim it back now after they find out that maybe they need some DNA in the future. Last night when this whole started was when they lured me outside. I was trying to keep myself safe in here. They lured me outside. I went with them, apprehensive of course, walking down the street, And then what they've been trying to do is hook me up with somebody, like, before I die, because we all know when I'm gonna die. And they try to set me up with somebody, or try to get me to build up the courage so I can talk to somebody and say, hey, would you like to do something? But I'm not like that. I'm not that kind of person. I'm not smooth. I don't have the right words to say, and it's embarrassing to me to be going out there and looking for sex. So I don't. And they encourage me to do that so I can be more social and be more of a person that's not scared of other people, you know? I'm not scared of them. I just don't like the way I feel. I feel ashamed whenever I talk about sex, because that's the way I was raised. I've been through abuse and other things, especially by these guys, by God and, you know, nameless, all of them. They do it in my sleep and everything. I mean, anyways, so I don't really like to talk about it too much. And I admire people that can and are able to openly without feeling ashamed or strange about it. It's like somebody farting. I mean, like, when somebody farts, I'm like, oh yeah, that's good. Get it out. But when I need to and stuff, I feel like I have to go, like, away and do it somewhere. But, you know, I mean, like, it's that difference that I have over my own self and other people. I encourage people and get happy whenever they're comfortable like that. Me, I have to take myself away from it because that's just the way I was raised. It's terrible, but whatever. See how I digress from that? The other thing that I noticed was thought control. Thought control, and they would start out a sentence in my mind. Like, today I decided, they'll say that, right? And then I will think, in the beginning, that's how it was. I thought that I was starting the sentence. So I would hear, today I will start, and then I would finish that sentence. What I didn't know was that I was finishing that sentence and giving them information of what I was thinking. Thinking I was privately on my own in my head. That went on for a very long time. That went on for a very long time. And then the other thing is they would set up an interview in my mind too. So I would think it's my imagination I'm playing along and pretending with my imagination. But it's actually someone trying to dig into your life and try to figure out your information. I figured that one out after the military guy was really, he was just asking questions after questions after questions. And then I said, wow, you ask a lot of questions. And then he said, yeah. Do you have a problem? And he just started with the question again. So then I stopped answering his questions and I asked him a question. And he wouldn't answer. And then every now and then he comes back. I thought I was playing along with myself, you know, in my head, in my own private mind. But turns out that I'm not. Which is why I suspect very heavily that this is the government. The government runs the city, and the city runs Hot Team. Hot Team is a homeless outreach team. Homeless outreach team. So what they're doing is targeting the homeless, housing them in these special places, and then torturing them. Yeah, they probably, and they supply drugs. For me, they didn't supply any heroin or anything, because I think that's more of a death drug, right away. And many times have I said I don't want to do crystal meth anymore, but I never run out. And sometimes I suspected that it wasn't crystal meth, and I would look at it and it seemed like it was salt. what do you call it, Epsom salt or whatever. And then I don't know. I don't know. I don't care. So I just take it because they just frustrate me. Every day it's like, take your shot, take your shot, take your shot, take your shot. It's like, it's more like medicine now than it is for fun. And I do it alone because they prefer it that way. Their game is to use those waves that they're sending from the satellites or the towers around here that attract to these metal things here. They use those to get my body maybe on an anxious stage and my veins will go in. So they'll wait for that to happen. And I won't be able to hit the vein, so I'm just really trying to get in there. And then they'll let it go free, so I feel my body just relax. And then the veins come back. Then I go into one, and then they constrict them again. It's like a game. It's like a sadistic kind of thing to them. I don't know if they can see me, but I've noticed that they can actually see outside of my eyes. So I believe that they're also inside my mind, or inside my body. They may be just doing it from inside my body, and I feel like it's coming from external. I mean, I've thought about this many, many times. And I've figured out many, many things. This is the same thing that prisoners go through in prison. This is very... This has connections all throughout the world. Those fires in LA were also I want to say they were initiated by satellites too. Elon Musk sends a lot of them out, from what I hear. And not one person that works in the government would actually say, yeah, I agree with you and I know what happens. Maybe there are some in the Department of Defense, because that's where the weapons do come from. In the 1970s, they were starting up the voice-to-skull technology. That's the way they could talk to you and only you through that frequency that no one else can hear, just you. And it's pretty clear on that. And then they use the psychological warfare along with it. And they have their ways, their psychological warfare. For me, they would use colors. They use colors, and they would use what I excuse me. They would use what I don't really indulge in, and I find special. So they do already know a lot about me. They prepared for it too while I was on the streets. They would steal my bag, my backpack, and they would use people to steal my backpack. And then they would probably search through everything. They've got my baby pictures, my certificate of Indian blood, my birth certificate, several IDs, several social security cards. And every time I want to leave the city, they find a way to get my IDs and my anything that I need to, my check card or something. So then it takes that much time to order them and get them again. The thing that bothers me the most is that my best friends and the people that I consider so close to me, they are being used just right in front of me. Like, I don't know. I'm just using this as an example. My friend will come into the room, and then he will just basically pick up something, put it in his pocket. And since he's my friend, I say, oh, okay, well, you know, if you need that, you can have it. But then he'll say something just directly, oh, it's mine now, or something like that. And I'm like way out of character for him. And I'm just like, that's not him. I noticed that too, as some parts of some sentences came up and they were totally off the wall. My friend said, "I wish I had never met you before," and that devastated me, of course, because it came from his mouth, and he allowed whoever said that to say it, and he didn't retract it. He didn't say, "Oh, no, no, no." So, and the voice changed. It was like regular voice like that, and then all of a sudden, "I wish I never met you," and then it was back to normal. And he looked shocked that he said that himself. My dog's been like that too. Um, they claim to be helping. They do the under the radar kind of thing. Like, as if they can convince you or manipulate you into doing something, they they'll go that route instead. As long as they're still going and going and going. So if you believe in genies, for example, they'll say, "Oh, we're your genie, but you got to keep a secret." Shh, you know. And then they'll just keep adding on to the whole thing, and they'll use up that genie thing all the way until they get busted, like they did with me. They started doing that with me, with the God thing, God, Jesus, and Satan. Because I grew up as a Baptist Christian, and I automatically assumed that the voice that I was hearing was God or Jesus. I mean, where did these voices come from? And what was it? What was it? That's what I was always thinking. And I assumed it was God and Jesus. And then it started getting twisted and evil. And they do not give up on the games because they're psychologically trying to train your mind to what you believe in. So you'll think that things are coming true, and it's just them having monitored you for the past year and setting up events and stuff that would coincidentally be what you were thinking about. They know everything. They know who you like, who you want to be around, and they use that against you right away too. Blatantly, and just I don't really know what they're after with me. I know that I get SSDI, and I'm thankful for it. I worked a long time ago and haven't been back to work. I've been trying to get off SSDI because I think it's because of that I'm being targeted. And if it were so easy to get off of it, it'd be great. I mean, I could just stop receiving the checks and just leave it like that. But that would really, really, yeah, I could do that too. In any case, they're just torturing me. I told them before too, I said, there's a way that you can negotiate with me. There's a way that you can talk to me. It's very easy. Don't force me to do anything. And don't demand from me. And they went demanding and they went forcing right away. And I'm very stubborn. There's things that they asked me to do that I still haven't done, and they're still angry about, and they're still causing me trouble. They try to force me to be a Christian and pray. That's the biggest thing. They want me to pray 3 times a day, and if I can't figure something out, pray. That's how I used to be. I mean, I used to think that, and it was a privilege to pray, and I loved to pray I used to pray, and it was a privilege to me. But now that they've corrupted it, it's not it's not even fun. They even have a voice of Jesus, and I don't even know if that is the real Jesus or not. But he's also cruel. He's very cruel. He's cruel in the way that a very twisted way. God forbid any of you actually see or experience that. Um, have they ever been good? I don't know. What else could I put? What was I saying? I thought I would document this right now and just explain to you why my eyes are red and why I feel dry and why I can't think right all of a sudden. Yes, it is a little bit about from me partying. That's it. But it's not like it's a little bit. And then the symptoms they come on at a certain point. So it's so strange how it's just like it intensifies. My eyes get all dry just when I'm talking to somebody outside or something. But they were just fine just a couple minutes ago, and I was just fine. Just like it's so strange. Like right now, and I called them all out. I feel okay. I feel more relaxed now, and I feel more able to think clearly. Not as clearly, but I'm able to now. It just went back. See, whoever it is just loves to play it, I think. I'm not really sure, but I can feel that it is very upset too, because I always find a way to document and to remember all of this, which is where I put a lot of gratitude towards Jesus and my own belief, because I think that my own beliefs and the original true Jesus is actually keeping me sustained and keeping me alive, not for torture or anything, but for an investigation to make this possible to be. I mean, this is wrong. This is very wrong to do to anybody. Although they have passed a law that says they can do this to citizens without the citizens really knowing. So all over San Francisco, there's probably plenty of other citizens that are going through this problem, and they still haven't figured out what is going on. Why haven't I been trying to bring people aware to it? I don't care. I know it's cruel to say, but my life has been horrible. It's been the most horrible life. And I don't care. My agenda is to die. That's it. It's not to save the world or try to bring awareness to the government trying to kill people and stuff, and do their experiments on me. And nobody cares about me anyway. They're just, I mean, like, I've said this so many times, and I've documented this on several videos so many times, Instagram, on YouTube. I mean, like, the whole process is exhausting to me. I hate doing it.